This is Breaking Views. Why this time? Apparently it's different for the capital market cycle and an IPO boom is not yet on the cards. Here to explain, Robert Cole. So basically what Dominic Elliott is saying is that you've got this cycle, investment grade debt recovery, junk bond recovery, normally an IPO pickup is on the back of that. But you're saying that's not going to happen this time?
Well, that's not necessarily going to happen this time, and that while I think we're all quite keen and quite hopeful that some sort of recovery is on the way. After all, we've seen that in the markets, haven't we? In the first part of this year, the equities are up, bonds are down, gold's quite soft. So we sort of there is this feeling that we're sort of on a treadmill towards sort of or an elevator, if you like, to better times. And in the investment banking industry, which clearly has had a really tough time, one of the things that, if the past repeated itself, would raise some hopes would be that we'd have some IPOs, we'd have some excitement, we'd have some new companies coming in. But that doesn't seem to be. That seems to be hopeful.
And if we pick apart the cycle, as Dominic does in this piece, investment grade issuance, yes, it's picked up, but it still looks pretty poor. In fact, I think it's below the peak in 2007. The junk bond issuance also doesn't look too impressive.
There is that, but I think the critical difference here between those kinds of capital raisings and IPOs is that very largely those junk bond issuances and credit issues are replacement capital. Right, so people are replacing money that they needed. IPOs is about new ventures, it's about raising new money, and it's a big question to wonder whether, particularly in developed markets, companies need extra capital. Now, that be because they just run out of ideas. That could be because they're too scared of what their shareholders might think if they're being too adventurous. But it might also shine this enormous light on one of the really big issues that is in the markets at the moment. Is where is the focus, developed markets or emerging markets? And actually what the capital markets might have to get their heads around is actually looking much more towards where those parts of the world, emerging markets, which actually need capital consumed. In the developed countries, particularly on the corporate sector, don't need the money.
So no IPO comeback? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying we are going to see this in developed markets?
In developed markets. I think there are big question marks about IPOs in emerging markets as well, but at least in emerging markets there is a sort of feeling that they do need the capital, right? So IPOs should be happening. I'm not even sure in developed markets whether IPOs should be happening.
All right, Robert, many thanks for that. You can read that piece, of course, on the Breaking Views website. For more financial insight, watch our US Breaking Views show every day, 12:30 Eastern, 17:30 GMT. I'm Axel Throvel. This is Reuters.